everyone! Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Emily. I created Definite Hearing as a way to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. Why would I do this? Well, I am hard of hearing myself. I wear 2 hearing aids, and boy, do I love them. I was diagnosed with my hearing loss at birth to 2 hearing parents. They had no idea that they would have 2 daughters with hearing loss. That's right, you heard it. I have a sister with hearing loss too. Did you know that 95% of children born with hearing losses are born to hearing parents that have no history of hearing loss? Yeah, crazy. So if you are a parent with a hard of hearing child, have no fear, you are not alone. All right, so for today's video, I wanted to spotlight the 5-in-1 hearing aid cleaning kit. I love this thing. I featured it in a couple of my other videos, particularly Christmas ideas for people who are deaf or hard of hearing, depending on their age, particularly people with hearing devices. So I love this little kit. This is my 3rd one that I have bought. Why have I bought 3? Because I wanted one for myself, I gave one to a friend, and I'm gifting one to my grandpa for Christmas. Here is the next one. And so I wanted to show off this tool and why this is great. So we'll go ahead and go through this. I hope you stick around to the end of this video because if you do, I'm going to show how I deep clean my ear molds, and that will be really helpful, especially if there's wax in the tubes that you cannot get out. Thank you so much for being on my channel today. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Doing so ensures that you get notifications when I create my videos, and it builds our definite hearing community. I need you to be a part of it. So go ahead and like and subscribe. All right, so here is the hearing aid kit. I'm going to go ahead and open it and walk through each little tool. So I love this little tool because it has 5 different gadgets. Some are super helpful for me and some like maybe not, and I use them in different ways, but I'll show you. So this first tool is a little hearing aid cleaning wax brush. So it's got some little bristles. It's kind of plasticky. It's not like super soft. It feels thick like horsehair, but it's definitely not horsehair, it's plastic. So this is great because you can just brush off any like hard crumbly bits of wax off of your ear mold. So I love this little tool. The next one is the wax wire tool. So this is great because it's harder than the brush and you can scrape off the wax. I really like this one for the inside of the tubes. Usually I'll just get some wax buildup just right on the inside of my ear molds. Let me show you what I mean. So right here in this tube, I just like to wipe it like right there. So this is super helpful for that. It gets the gunk out and just cleans any front blockages that I may have. Next is the little tube cleaner. So it's this little flexible piece of, I want to call it plastic again. And this is great for vents and tubes. So some ear molds have vents right below the tube. You can barely see mine right there. And this is great because you can just push it through the vent and clean it. Like, we'll get rid of any blockages or issues. It's important to keep your ear molds clean and clear so that the sound can pass through your tubes and into your ear. Another thing you should keep in mind about this little tube and vent cleaner is that sometimes it doesn't go all the way through your hearing aid tubes. For example, let me show you. It doesn't go all the way out. That's okay. You do what you can to get the wax out to the front of the tube. You just kind of rotate it and shove the wax out, and then you use the hearing aid wax loop to grab it out from the front of the tube like this. There you have it. So there is a very helpful little tube tip thing. So I love this because before I got this, I was using like paper clips, needles, random things I could find around the house to just like shove in my hearing aid tubes, which like wasn't super great, but I really wanted to get stuff out of my tubes. So I like this little tool. All right, next is, it says on the box that this is like a battery door opener. To be honest with you, I don't use it as a battery door opener because the way that my hearing aid battery doors open, it's just so much more functional for me to just open it with my finger. But some hearing aid battery doors require like a little pick to release either a spring that's holding the battery door open or just to pry it open. So this is helpful for some to open the battery doors, but for me, I use it as another wax like scraper. I use it interchangeably with the wire loop tool. Okay, and last but not least is the battery magnet. So I probably don't use this one very much either because it takes me longer to find this tool to use it than it does to just replace my hearing aid battery. But this is great for like anyone who feels clumsy. Sometimes my hands are sweaty and it's hard for me to like grasp the battery, hold on to the battery, and change it. So this is great because once you have your battery door open, you can just use this nifty little magnet to just, look at that. And then it's a lot easier to control and take off and just put in a new one. So I do like this tool, but like I said, sometimes it's hard to find this little gadget. I've got to work on putting it in the same place so that I know where to find it. So there is the 5-in-1 hearing aid toolkit. I absolutely love that I can use this. Like, it was like $2.88 on Amazon. And I love that I can use this because it's just so much safer than like a needle going up my hearing aid tubes. So there it is. I really like it. I think it's worth it, hence the fact I bought 3 of them and then I'm sharing them with my other fellow hearing aid wearers. Do you have any questions about this little kit? If so, I would love to hear in the comments below. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I want to show you, I know that sometimes you can have like gunk or earwax in your tubes that is really hard to get out. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a little helpful tip. When you're taking your ear mold off to clean it, always be sure to firmly grasp the hearing aid and the ear hook. If your ear hooks are like mine, they're separate from the actual hearing aid. It's important to firmly grasp this because if you just grab the aid and yank on the tube, you can break the ear hook. So be mindful of that. Let me demonstrate. All right, so this is really hard to see, but there are some gunks of wax in my mold and they definitely need to come out. Sometimes this little gadget does not quite do the job. I swear one of these days I'm going to like make a tool that will actually do this that has little fuzzies, but so I stick this in there and it just kind of scrapes it, but it doesn't get rid of the wax completely. And so that's a little disappointing. So if you have a situation where you can't get the wax out, you need to do a deep clean. The way to deep clean an ear mold is to use soap and water. Now, never, ever get your hearing aid part wet. This is an electronic, this is like a phone. If it gets wet, it will be damaged. So always disconnect your ear mold from your hearing aid. And so what I like to do is I like to get some warm soapy water, pump some soap into my hand and wash it over my ear mold. And then I will hold this under the stream of water and it will flush out. It does a great job. Hot water will just dissolve almost any wax that I've ever seen. So I just like to deep clean my mold that way and then I let it dry overnight on a towel or in my dry aid kit. These tools are especially helpful to clean the hearing aid part of your hearing aid, not just your mold. For example, the wax brush, though you can use it for a mold, it's great to kind of clean out the areas by the microphones of your hearing aid, which is usually these top lines if you see them on your hearing aid, and then right there. So, and sometimes gunk or skin cells get in the ridges of your hearing aid, so it's great to use these to kind of clean that out as well. So this tool not only cleans molds, but it cleans hearing aids safely as well. So just remember again, these are a dry clean item, meaning no water. Don't ever wash these with water or soap or any kind of liquid, but these are great for soap and water. Just make sure you detach them before you use them. If you have any hearing aid cleaning questions, please let me know in the comments below. I typically clean my ear molds about twice a month, depending on how much earwax or cerumen my ear is producing. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more great content and videos for you. I hope you have a great day. Bye.